aware, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and BBMP jointly are having a school in Shriram. The school mainly caters to the children coming from the neighboring areas, which is largely a slum area. Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan is in management of that school and has been running the school now for over 15 years. The school has a strength of nearly 800 children from LKG up to Standard 10. This year, we are having our school annual day program, and the theme of the cultural event is Akasha. Over the last couple of years, the children have been performing their programs on the Panchabhutas. We have completed Earth, Vayu, Agni, and water. And this year, it was Akasha. The children have depicted in this program the entire story of how Akasha has attracted the attention of all philosophers and scientists equally. And this program depicts the concept of Akasha as understood in the scriptures, in the literatures, and by scientists, including the space scientists, which today has become a very important profession given the success of Chandrayaan-3. I request all of you to please watch this program, and you will see how our children have performed with great enthusiasm and dedication. I must acknowledge the support that we have received from the staff, the principal, and also from Shubha Madan, who was the first principal of the school, who has brought all the children together and choreographed this program. Thank you very much for watching this program, and your encouragement for the children would be invaluable.
Our Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan BBMP school children are doing the annual day on 11th of February 2024. We have selected the 5 elements, that is Prithvi, Vayu, water, and this time Akasha. Our children are very talented and they are very creative. Whatever we are asking to do, they do it perfectly, even though they have not learned dance, music, everything. They do it perfectly, and they get so much of encouragement from the management.
Good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you to join us in this flight to Ether, and there we will unfold the Akasha for you. So, how did this journey begin? So, Akasha is one of the first elements to be created, and we had planned to have it about 7 years back. But when I got to writing the script about Akasha, I just had that blockage, which people call it as writer's block. Ideas were just not coming forth, and there was no flow. So I took the easiest possible route. So I dealt with the other elements. So we did it on Agni, we did it on Prithvi, we did it on Apa, the water. But this time, this was the 5th element, and I had no other route for escape here. So when I began to write the script for Akasha, some 3 months before this program, I again started having the familiar signs of blockage. Things were not flowing fluently. So I decided that this Akasha is such a subtle element that it refuses to be bound into a format. It refuses to be limited. It is a boundaryless entity. So I thought that the best way for me to write the script would be to simply brainstorm and write all the ideas that come to my mind in a free-flowing thought. So I penned all my thoughts, and when I finally finished and I had a look at the thoughts that I had scribbled down, so I saw what the real problem was. I saw that everything that I had written seemed to be a testimony for science, space science. So there was so much of overload of science, and this is something that I had to accept. Having accepted this basic reality, I wondered how I can make the script little more broad-based and how to make it more entertaining, have that entertaining value. So the first place that I touched upon was, I am deeply interested in philosophy, the Hindu philosophy of Vedanta. So I thought that this will be the first subject that I'll dip into. So I decided on how is Akasha created. So for this, we took the help of Brahman creating Maya, and then the Maya creating all the other 5 elements. And having collected all the matter, the next one was, how do I present it on the stage? So for this, I must share with you that I had an excellent choreographer for my dance who not only supplied all the music, but also the choreography for dance, Sushma. So I gave her this impossible idea that you have to show Maya and you have to show how she created these 5 elements and in a dance form. And she did it most valiantly. So after having done this, then we were always interested in rooting ourselves in our own culture, but also expanding our horizons to touch the other cultures. And to do this, we took the help of many other civilizations, the Greek, the Roman, the Norse, and our own Indian civilization. So we dug through their mythologies and we saw how they represented sky. So after having collected this research matter, how do we present it on the stage? So in order to make it attractive and to give it a little modern leaning, so we decided to have a ramp walk. So the children enjoyed the ramp walks, performing the ramp walk, and it came in quite effectively. And having done this, then the next part was, Akasha is vast, all-encompassing, and it is an accommodator of everything. So it accommodates the universe. Now, how do we show this creation of universe? So just as I told you, my interest in astrophysics is as deep as my interest in Vedanta, maybe because the 2 subjects are very similar. So because of the earlier reading I had done, it was easy for me to work out on Big Bang Theory. I got this life history of these 2 scientists, and I got this matter reorganized and put it in a dialogue form to make it look like a small playlet, and we presented the Big Bang Theory. After having done this, so whenever you collect a lot of matter, you also need to add something light, otherwise it becomes very heavy, so the balance will be lost. So we had to add a dance, and this being a very Western context, we had to think of a dance that is suitable to the Western context. So like I had watched this opera when I was in US. This is the Nutcracker from Tchaikovsky. So we made the children perform the ballet, so giving that the wholeness for that particular playlet. Then after this, we needed to balance it again with our Indian background. So we dug into the Indian epic, that's Mahabharata, and we took the story of Dhruva. Dhruva was a Dhruva Tara. He was the North Star of Polaris, and we showed the entire story of the Saptarishi Mandal and he being the pole star. And this we presented in the form of a dance drama. And then while doing this, you call it as writer's luck. So while researching, I just came across a story about the American Civil War, where the black American slaves had used the Big Dipper, which is nothing but Saptarishi Mandal, to escape from the oppressive south to the north. So when I got this story, I expanded it a little bit and used the literary freedom a little bit, and I put the dialogue and made it look like come to a drama form. And while doing this, I was further lucky because I got this very famous song that was scripted at the time of the Civil War. It's called the Follow the Drinking Gourd. So I was wondering how to use this song in this play. So then it just struck me that if we have a bonfire in the night and make all these people gather around and make them sing this song, and also a slave dance, a very typical black African slave dance, which we put together to make it look like a one whole very comprehensive scene. And after this, we had, as I told you, it was a very science-heavy format. So we had these scientific questions like why is the sky blue, and the stages of the star death and all that. So we collected all the matter. The children, I think one of the important part of our play was the narration, because I had a group of nearly 7 to 8 narrators who had researched along with me to gather all the matter, and they had organized and they put it cohesively so that we didn't miss on any information. So we collected all the information on these scientific principles, but the tough job was for the choreographer to convert these scientific ideas into a dance form. And when you watch the program today, you will realize that she's done a successful job. And then we we went through the contribution of India in this field of astrophysics. So we started with the Vedic times with Varahamira, Aryabhata, and we went through the modern times with Vikram Sarabhai, Dr. Homi Bhabha, and then the Chandrayaan. So when we did the Chandrayaan 3, it just struck me that we have to make something very dramatic over here. So I decided to go for the actual launching of Chandrayaan and also the soft landing, and which I got it from the Sunset TV. So we got all these heroes and heroines of this Chandrayaan mission, made them stand around the video screen in such a way that it looked like the probably the room, the control room in ISRO. So with this, I think that ploy worked very well, which you will be now able to watch after this program begins. So having done all this, what I like to stress is that this is not simply a cultural project, annual project, but we have amalgamated large number of academic subjects here, and all of which are very authentic, and therefore we call this as a docu-drama. It's more of a documentary which is dramatized. So, and to do this, it was very important for me to have a good supportive team, and this is what we got. The teachers in the school really rose up to the occasion, and they actually did almost everything. The very popular phrase of pin to piano. They did almost everything, and in fact, I saw them improvising on many things and building upon what I had already given them. And a group of really diligent children who did great job in narrating, great job in dancing and singing. So I will not be doing my duty if I don't mention Gayatri ma'am. Had it not been for her, probably I would never have written script, nor would I have displayed the script. It was her insistence that I could do it, that I wrote the script and I brought it and directed the whole thing, and we added many things and brought it into the shape that you will see it today. And I also must thank Mr. Suresh and Mr. Raghavan for the silent moral support that I got from them. Had it not been for this management, probably it would not have worked. So, the teachers, the principal, the students, all were parts of this venture, and I hope you will enjoy this journey. You will enjoy this flight this evening along with us as much as we have in presenting it to you. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to our 7th annual day function. Today, we have gathered here to celebrate the more achievements and hard work of our students, teachers, and staff. Today, we have a band of dignitaries with us. I will call upon all these great souls to our annual day function. This annual function is a much awaited event for all of us. The purpose of this event is to provide a big platform for our students to showcase their talents and skills and creativity. We hope that this event will inspire our students to continue pursuing their passions and achieve greater heights. Before we begin the festivities, I would like to request everyone to raise for a moment for Bhavan anthem.
जय जय विद्या भवन भारती, जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा, जय जय विद्या भवन भारती, जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा। ज्ञान विज्ञान की ज्योत जगाता अमृतमय विद्या सरसता, यहाँ जगत कल्याण सुधा की वही प्रेम रस धारा। जय जय विद्या भवन भारती, जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा। भारत संस्कृति कला निकेतन विकसिता, साहित्य सनातन, नव विज्ञान कला कौशल का पावन मंदिर प्यारा। जय जय विद्या भवन भारती, जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा। प्रभु अर्पित सब कर्म कराता, मानव को संपन्न बनाता, सदा एकता प्रेम भक्ति पर तन मन धन सब वारा। जय जय विद्या भवन भारती, जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा।
जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा, जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा, जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा।
With this graceful and peaceful start, now I request Shri KG Raghavan, Chairman, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Bengaluru Kendra and Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan BBMP Public School to welcome the guests.
Respected Dr. Atre, Dr. Shriram, Mr. GV Rao, parents, students, and ladies and gentlemen. This is indeed a very unique and important occasion for the Bhavan's BBMP school. Year after year, the school has had its annual day program focused on one or the other of the Panchabhutas. And this year, the emphasis is on sky. We all have wondered what exists beyond earth and beyond what can be seen from our senses without the aid of technology. And now, technology has made it possible for all of us to see what is there in outer space. And towards this, the great contribution of Dr. Atre should be recognized. We are indeed fortunate that he is with us today and to speak to you on this occasion. In fact, I was telling him that he should visit our school at Shriram, where all of you study, and speak to you, and then you will see what should be your role model. And that is Dr. VK Atre for you. I sincerely welcome him to this all-important program and request him to be a guiding factor for our school in the years to come. Thank you very much, sir, for being here with us. Equally, we have Dr. Shriram, who is himself a well-known scientist. And we are very happy that for a program with a theme like this, he has agreed to be with us. And I welcome him heartily for this function. We have with us Dr. GV Rao. Dr. GV Rao is very closely associated with the Volvo Group. And parents and children, you are all fortunate, in my view, to be in this school. I say so because not only do you have dedicated teachers under the able leadership of your principal, we also have generous corporate houses who have supported our institution. And one such corporate house which has constantly supported us from the beginning is the Volvo Group. And I am indeed grateful to the Volvo Group and particularly to Shri GV Rao for taking so much of interest in the development of our school. And I assure you that the trust that you have placed in us and the support that you have given to our school will not go in vain. We are determined to ensure that every one of our children who are studying or who have passed out of the school will at least be a good civil citizen of this great country. And that's our motto. I must also recognize the presence of Mr. Ghanshyam Agarwal, who again, as the chairman of the Liber Group of companies, a German company in India, has supported us in a big way in making this school and its project a success. I acknowledge gratefully your support and I sincerely welcome you to this program. He has been to our school, he has seen the activities of our school, and once again I assure him and through him to all our supporters and to the parents who have trusted their children with us that we shall do all that we can in order to promote the cause of education and the cause of this great country. With these few words, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome all of you to this wonderful function, and I am sure all of you parents are awaiting to see the performance of your children on the stage today, and I shall not come in the way of your expectation. Thank you very much once again for being here with us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our former principal, Srimati Shubha Madan, to introduce our chief guest, Padma Vibhushana, Dr. V.K. Atre and Dr. K.V. Shriram.
It's wonderful to be back here after a 4-year gap. So I take this opportunity, and in fact it's a privilege for me to welcome Dr. Atre and Mrs. Atre to our function here today. While I was compiling the matter, I was simply stunned. It's the kind of Wikipedia things that we hear, or read, and the journals that we read, and these are the people whom we'll never get to meet. But today has been a lucky day for us. Not only did we read about him, and we are actually meeting him in person, and it indeed is a stroke of good luck for us, for the school, and for the children. So, Dr. Vasudev Kalkunte Atre, born in Bangalore, He graduated in electrical engineering from University Visvesvaraya College of Engineering. He obtained his master's degree from Indian Institute of Science. He was awarded the PhD in electrical engineering from the University of Waterloo, Canada. So he went on to teach in the Technical University of Nova Scotia, Halifax. He was the Director General of DRDO. He was the scientific advisor to the Raksha Mantri, George Fernandez. He received his Padma Bhushan in 2000 by President K.R. Narayanan. And he was awarded the Padma Vibhushan in 2016. Just to refresh your memory, that this is India's second highest civilian award. He was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Karnataka Science and Technology Department. Now he is the chairman of NIT Goa. So this is his long list of achievements. Dr. Atre, we are indeed very lucky to be here with you. May I request you to please come up and address the gathering?
Good evening. First, my greetings to the entire Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan school and BBMP school community on this special day. My congratulations. May you have many more such days. Dr. Raghavan, other dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. I am generally used to talking to scientists and engineers in graduating schools and post-graduating schools and so on. And I find it very easy. But talking to children is very, very difficult. The lower the class they are, the greater is the challenge. Because the capacity of not only conversational communication skills, languages and so on, how you are going to adjust to them is a problem. So if I fail, I already have an excuse. It's about 20 years since I retired from the RDO. In the last 20 years, I have been involved, surprisingly, in more of students from villages, government schools, underprivileged, schools with no laboratories, schools with hardly any teachers, and schools with hardly any rooms. But what has thrilled me throughout this is the amount of innate intelligence and creativity in our youngsters. Intelligence is not a prerogative of urbanites. There are as many brilliant students as in villages as there are in fact, perhaps more. They are not spoiled of the sophistication. Because the greatest sophistication is simplicity, as Einstein once said. So what is that we should look for? So having that, let me say a few words about our country in the present scenario. Just a couple of years back, we celebrated the 75th Independence Day of India. In 75 years, I don't think there are many countries that have achieved as much as we have. In 1947, we were a poor, third world country, unable to feed our teeming millions, virtually no infrastructure either industrially, physically, and education-wise. Today we are poised to become the third largest economy. We must have done something right. In fact, we have done something very right to reach this stage. Yet, India to become a fully developed country, which is the ambition we have now. And Prime Minister Modi almost talks every day of that we are going to become Vishwa Gurus and all these things. Whether we become or not, at least the ambition is clearly identified. That by 1947, rather 2047, India should have become a fully developed country. And perhaps, if not the third, first, second largest economy. Is it possible? Recently, in a group of scientists who are looking at technology as the base for development, we had a debate whether it is possible to have India reach that stage. The single most important resource we have in India is manpower resource. And also today our so-called demographic distribution is ideal. We have nearly 30 to 35% of the people below the age of 30 and 35. So the next 20, 30 years are the most critical years for India to become a fully developed country. Because by about 2050, our mean age will be about 60 plus, which is not all conducive for development. So it depends on youngsters. How we train the youngsters. Obviously, science and technology is at the hub of this development. I would like the youngsters sitting here tomorrow morning when you get up, start listing out every activity you do and find out how much of that depends on gadgets, systems that come out of science and technology. You find it's overwhelmingly obvious. India has done well. India has done so well that outside India, they tend to think much more of us than we ourselves think in India. You go to California and walk around Silicon Valley, every second person is an Indian. There is a small area called Cupertino. You go there, the national language is Tamil. Everybody speaks Tamil. We own 50% of Silicon Valley. 33% of American NASA are Indians. Nearly 40 to 45% of the research scientists or research that come out with the world all over are Indians. So obviously we have the most important ingredient, manpower. What we do with it is of course our responsibility. We are to some extent very timid. Even if you do very well, we tend to think we are not as good as America and compare with America and denigrate ourselves. I watch cricket match, even with all this, every time after the first ball is bowled, I tend to think India may lose. Now, the end, the last ball, India will have won. But all of us are still kind of timid, saying whether can we achieve it. Probably this is the history of having been a country which is ruled by outsiders for 1,500 years in some sense. It's time to work on. Fortunately, touch wood, fortunately, the present generation is not timid. If any, they are overconfident. They are tremendously articulate. Their communication skills are far beyond what I had achieved perhaps when I graduated. Their awareness of what's going on in the world is much more than perhaps graduates 40, 50 years back. But along with this, they should also carry a certain amount of idealism, certain amount of nationalism. Keep in mind, Janani Janmam Bhumishya Swargadapi Gariyasi. So, we have to look at building a country. I have stayed in America for 20, 25 years. Most of the people who put down India are Indians. Which is our mentality. So what India requires, change, Yes, infrastructure is necessary, but not change in infrastructure, not change in economy. We are reasonably rich. Look at every day, if you add all the money that's supposed to be going for scams, we are multi-billionaires. What we need is a change in our mindset, our approach. The approach is sometimes guided by something which we don't understand. For example, when I was young, if I said I was going to go swimming, my grandmothers used to say, don't go swimming, you will drown. And we also used to tell our youngsters, play, but doesn't matter if you don't win. You must play to win. If you don't win, doesn't matter. But you must go with the idea, I am going to win. I call it Virat Kohli syndrome. If you look at Virat Kohli in the field, every ball he wants to score a 4. Whether he scores or not, and every catch he wants to take. And when something he drops the catch, I think is the emotional expression which comes out of him is what we must imbibe. So what India requires changes in mindset. Yes, policy changes, governments, bureaucracy reduction, corruption reduction are all essential. But I tend to think they are all side chains. Our main thing is, we must decide ourselves. There is a saying in Gita, Uddhared Atmana Atmanam Atmanam Avasadayat Atmaiva Hyatmaiva Bandhuratmaiva Repuratmanaha. Essentially, what it means is, we can become our own friend and we can become our own enemy. We can rise ourselves up with our own deeds. So we must decide what we want to do. If we want to win, probably we will win. If we want to succeed, probably we will succeed. If we want to be the top country in the world, probably we will be the top country in the world. So let's go with a mindset. Large part of this is we must inculcate this. The great self-confidence and getting out of our diffidence depends on the teachers. In India, we don't treat teachers very well. I don't think the kind of respect we used to give it to our teachers 50 years back no longer stays that. You must realize Shila Bhavati Acharyasya prabhave Shila Bhavati Archakasya prabhave Shila Bhavati Shankaraha Acharyasya bhavave Chatra Bhavati Susikshitaha. So, you must look at that. I am not saying go to Gurukula or every day bow down to teachers. But teachers also must reciprocate the equal amount of them. That my awards are the dominant issues. It cannot be for a 9-to-4 job and earning yours. And if you follow that, you can build a country. We will build a country irrespective of what it is because our talent is very great. But our development and our status is not commensurate with the amount of talent we have. I always tell when they say Indians are so good, why is India not that good? It is possible, it can be done, it must be done, and it depends on the next 20, 30 years, which is the time when you youngsters become the dominant workforce for India. Maybe we all did wrong in our generations and plus or minus 25 years from 1947. We got carried away by euphoria of independence. We thought we achieved everything. But we hadn't achieved much. Today we are racing ahead. Whether this government, any other government, I don't think any government can slow down the Indian racing. The government will probably speed it up a little bit, provide the right kind of atmosphere and environment. But finally it's we as Indians who make what India could be. And that is the message I want to convey you. Every day think of that. Every morning you see how privileged you are. Irrespective of the thousands and thousands of schools we have, people who go to school are still a privileged small number. That privileges carries the responsibility. Privileges always carry responsibility. There are tremendous amount of challenges in front of us. Challenges provide opportunity. And we must succeed. We cannot afford to fail. I am sure we will not. Thank you.
So may I request Mrs. Atre to join Dr. Atre, Shri Raghavan to be felicitating the chief guest and Mrs. Atre. Mrs. Atre. So I take this opportunity to welcome Shri Dr. KV Shriram. I must confide, while I was gathering the matter to make an introduction document for him, I was completely flummoxed. I couldn't understand many of the things that was there in the biodata. I always considered myself reasonably well informed, but now I know what my status is. So I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. KV Shriram. He obtained PhD from IIT Madras in 1993. In April 2020, he took over as the Director of Laboratory for Electro-Optic Systems, ISRO. He is the outstanding scientist and director of LEOS. In recent time, he was involved in the development of Chandrayaan-3 and Aditya L1 special purpose optics. He has about 80 publications to his credit in peer-reviewed journals. He is a recipient of Harbans Singh Memorial Award from Optical Society of India, SAME Anveshak Award from the Society of Aerospace Manufacturing Engineers, India. He is a distinguished fellow of the Optical Society of India. There is much more. Since I couldn't understand, I couldn't put it down. So Dr. Shriram, kindly come and address the gathering.
It's a fantastic feeling for me. So, fraternity of Vidya Mandir and Dr. Atre, Dr. Rao, and all the dignitaries, wonderful parents, and fantastic children. A very good evening to all of you. So, when I first thought I have to speak something general, a space scientist is the most unfit fellow for this. But certainly it's a double delight for me today. For one reason, sharing a dais with a doyen like Dr. Atre. And second thing is, I'm getting associated with a fraternity of arts. You know, space is very much linked to arts. You may wonder what really is the connection. In lot of space exploration, majority of renditions are made by arts only. Later, we make use of all these scientific equipments to prove such a rendition is true. So that's how arts and space is connected. So I thought it's more appropriate that to get a feel of what really ISRO was involved when Chandrayaan-3 was a success. It's not just we would say that a decade's affair or something. Which have been stalwarts like Professor Vikram Sarabhai and Dr. Homi Bhabha. I think they were all very much attached to this arts and culture. There was a culture which was developed in India, which carried the strength generations to generations, and today we are sitting on the era of success. The pains they have undergone is something which we cannot elaborate here. But even prior to that, major scientists like Professor Raman, Sir GV Raman, and Meghnad Saha, I think they were the persons who have really sown seeds for India to have some kind of scientific developments. And this was carried by the next generations, and of course Dr. Abdul Kalam, who has been very much involved in the initial stages of all these rocket developments. He is the pioneer for our satellite launch vehicle. And one side, Professor Rao, Udupi Ramachandra Rao, he is the person behind all satellites. So that was happening in the sheds of Peenya for the first time, the Aryabhatta satellite, way back in 1975. And then the fruition of how the Indian National Committee for Space transformed into an Indian Space Research Organization. That took a lot of time, almost about a decade. 1962, it started as a committee. Then 1972, it became an organization which came under the Department of Space. Till then, it was under Department of Atomic Energy. So that's how it has grown, and then we made the Aryabhatta. Of course, a lot of Russian technology was in place at that time. So we used to depend, as Professor Atre told, we don't take initiatives. We do work which is guided by others. Of course, we graduated from making satellite launch vehicles, augmented satellite launch vehicles, then polar satellite launch vehicle, then came this giant GSLVs, geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle, which can take up to 36,000 kilometers. So we started, expanding our sounding rocket technology to making satellites which can be used for Earth observation from a low Earth orbit, as well as go to very high orbits to see, a total picture of, if you want a localized picture of India, it can be seen all the time, 24 hours you can get from a, geo orbit. So when all these things were matured, there came this plummet. Russians told nothing doing, we are not going to give you this cryo technology anymore. So when you are pushed to a corner, when you are made to work, then you know what is the real problem. So then came this so-called cryogenic technology. So we ourselves we struggled a lot, we struggled more than a decade, but then we made our GSLV a success. So the culture which has been carried over generations is what mattered, to see that the acumen and determination what our scientists had could see that the cryogenic stage was a great success to us. That has given a further impetus that we can further venture into space. What else we have to do now? So way back in 2000, there was an initiation. Why not get into some kind of exploration? Though Vikram Sarabhai dreamt that all the space applications should only be confined to societal needs, it should reach a common man. It was thought there is a definite need. The initiation of this Kargil war, way back in 1999, I believe, we understood where we stand. We don't get technology from outside. Nobody will. You could have seen now how Ukraine is suffering. So these are all the things which puts you into a fix. Yes, there is a definite need. Necessity is the mother of invention, as they call. So seeds were definitely put initially by the Indian Academy of Sciences, which told us some 100 scientists gathered at Delhi, and then they told whether really we need to afford about 650 crores of money for this purpose, just for going to moon. Is it really worth? There were a lot of debates across the country. At that time, our Professor Rangan, he made one very fantastic statement. It's not the question of whether we can afford it or not. It's a question of whether we can afford to lose it. So that is the way things were pursued. Very, very staunch, fight was given, and then it was approved. Formally, it was approved by the then Vajpayee government. So then we ventured into this making of these technologies which are required for Chandrayaan. So in 2008, we had the first version of Chandrayaan flown, which was just an orbiter. It will go around the moon's orbit only. Okay. So what could be done? We have to do some remote sensing, scientific payloads which can do remote sensing of moon. So that was what was done during that time. But of course, that is the one which paved success for this present Chandrayaan-3, because we made a complete mapping of the moon during that time, and we created an atlas of the moon. Once we have seen that orbiter, we are able to cross over, several gravity manifolds and then reach moon's orbit. That itself was a remarkable success that time. And then intermediate, we thought, why not go for Mars orbit? So in 2013, we reached Mars as well. Okay, but it took about nearly 6 months to reach. But what is the outcome? Is there around the world any kind of components which has withstood 6 months in space? India is the first country which has proven that it can withstand. And then we also got into making some astronomical studies. Somewhere in 2015, we launched our AstroSat, which is meant for astronomical studies, and which was really helpful for many of our scientists in India who are involved in this astronomical studies. So a lot of publications came. Then in 2019, we felt, yes, now is the time we have to attempt a landing on the moon. What is so special about landing on the moon? Why at all we should go for moon? One thing is, it's an exploration, fine. But the way globe is moving towards, the world is moving towards now, is if a kind of threat prevails, some of these countries may even resort to making a habitat at moon. So that is the level it is. Space transportation is one key development which is happening at full swing in all space agencies. So we should not be far away from that. Why not our contribution in that? Thought, and then we went for landing. Unfortunately, at the nth moment, it was just 1 kilometer below surface. We lost our communication. Though it was a partial success, we had the orbiter. So that was a very, very, so we were all, shell-shocked. 2019 it was, and then came this pandemic. So we were waiting. We made another satellite which could really be launched by 20 itself. But then pandemic was in picture, so priorities changed. Space reformations came into picture, whether really Chandrayaan has to once again go. But that is a time where we really perfected our technology. We worked on failures. We know that if we work on strengths, it's not going to give us any clue about how we failed. We worked on all the failure aspects. Several committees were formed. Every bit of things were addressed. In fact, we did some very quantitative kind of tests on Earth itself, like cold test, hot test, emulating almost like a landing scenario. in our Sriharikota shore, we made one such a dummy model, a scaled down model, which could successfully land with all the sensors in loop. So very importantly, when it comes to landing, it's importantly all this, whatever gadgets you have, at the 10th moment it should function. If there is a minuscule of failure, it is finished. That's how it goes. So eventually it happened like everything was good. In 2023, we thought yes, we were very confident. Even before the launch, we were very sure that we are going to launch. We are going to be very successful. But just 2 days before, we had seen a failure. There was another, move from Russian satellite, which they wanted to overtake and then launch before us. But that also, lost communication. So once again, we were put into some shivers. But then, we didn't give up. We once again had some, overnight meetings. We ensured that no gap is left. And the day of August 23rd, I believe, August 23rd of 2023. So that evening, it was a very momentous evening. I think it was a remarkable achievement for all Indians. We landed, we captured the moon, and the technologies what we have put forth is proven that beyond doubt, yes, certainly India can do much more. So I think that is the only occasion after independence where immaterial of caste, creed and religion, everybody gathered to celebrate that event. And that one factor is enough for all ISROites that yes, as long as you are supporting us, we are always going to be successful. So that is the way we found success, that when we are united, we are going to be definitely successful. And beyond all this, the visionaries, what they dreamt of, today they may not be alive, but I think their dreams have come true. And further to that also, I think a lot of plans are there. We are going to, in the next 2 decades, there is a vision 2047, 100 years of independence. What we plan is, we have to put a man or a woman in moon. We also should have our own space station. We should have our person flying in space. We should also go to Venus and explore far away from whatever is possible in this cosmos. And that is all important, provided we stick on to our culture and follow a kind of discipline which keeps you afloat. So thank you very much, and wish you all a very good career. Thank you.
Dr. Shriram, could you just wait on? And Mr. Shriram, can you come and join him, please? May I request Raghavan sir to felicitate them?
I would take this special opportunity to introduce our another guest, Shri GV Rao. He is a mechanical engineer passed out from Kakatiya University, Warangal in 1990. Started professional journey with Ashok Leyland as a graduate trainee and worked there for 7 years. Associated with Volvo Group for last 26 years. Worked at senior management positions like senior vice president for strategic planning and vice president for brand and marketing at Volvo Trucks. Currently working as director, CSR and external industry affairs, Volvo Group India Private Limited since 2020. As a CSR head, he had initiated so many activities at Volvo. As CSR head, he had led several CSR initiatives in providing school infrastructure to promote education, supported several government schools in Bangalore, rural and urban districts in improving basic infrastructure with school furniture, renovation of school infra, provided refurbished computers or laptops, offering merit scholarships, imparting training programs on computer skills and awareness programs. Led several COVID initiatives to support government hospitals and frontline workers, supported daily wage and migrant workers with grocery kits, running COVID care center, vaccination on wheels, vaccinated around 30,000 people in rural areas in 13 districts. Currently running a mobile clinic vehicle, Wellness on Wheels, for screening cancer and heart ailments for early detection of disease to save lives. Driving several other initiatives in safety, environmental care, and forest ecosystem support. And apart from this, he is supporting our Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan BBMP public school and sponsoring for education. I request Shri GV Rao to address the gathering.
Very good evening to all dignitaries who have joined today for this the annual day of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Padma Vibhushan Dr. V.K. Atre, the former Director and Head of DRDO and Scientific Advisor to the Defense Minister, Dr. Shriram, our Director ISRO, Shri K.G. Raghavanji, Chairman BVB, Shri Suresh ji, Shri Ganeshram ji, Shri Krishnamurti ji, and various other dignitaries who have joined here today, the principal and all the teachers and the parents and the lovely students. Once again, very good evening to all of you. It's a great privilege and honor to me to be here for participating in your annual day of a prestigious institute like Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan on one side, and also sharing the stage with Dr. Atre and Dr. Shriram and the other dignitaries who have joined today. It's a real honor and pride for me today. I would also like to just give a little brief about Volvo Group. Some of you are aware about it with the thing because Volvo buses are very famous. But Volvo Group is the second largest commercial vehicle company in the world. It's a Fortune 500 company with more than 1 lakh employees across the world. We are present in almost close to 180 countries out of 195 countries in the world with all our group brands. In India, we are present in with the Volvo trucks, buses, construction equipment, the road machinery like excavators, road rollers and all we are producing here, and also the Penta engines, marine and genset engines. In fact, we supply engines to the Indian Navy and also generators to various big installations. Indian Parliament is powered by the Volvo generators, along with the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, BBMP school as well. So, when it comes to the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, I mean, it's something, when we look at the legacy and the vision of the founder, K. M. Munshi ji, the kind of quality education which the trust has brought to the country, and almost for more than 70 years, it's more than 1938, it's almost 82, 83 years, the kind of service which has been rendered in providing quality education to the underprivileged children and to make our society an inclusive society is I would like to salute the entire Bharatiya Bhavan and BBMP fraternity who are present here. I have been associated with Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan for last 3 years, thanks to Suresh ji and Anand ji and all. And it was a bit of eye-opener for me when I first time visited Shriram, our BVMP school. Because I have been for last 4 years, which I am associated with the social space. I've been visiting several government schools, of course, private schools and all. I've been giving some lectures there and all. But when I visited Shriram's the BVB-BBMP school, when I interacted with the teachers, the students there, the kind of enthusiasm, the kind of passion, and the kind of mindset to learn is something which is amazing. And also, the infrastructure today in the BVP schools, which the management and the trust has provided, it is second to none, I would say. Where I've been to many schools, of course, some international schools and all. Of course, there may be some air-conditioned rooms and all. That was the only extra thing what they have. But other than that, all infrastructure, and more than that, the quality of the staff and the teachers, the dedication and the teachers is something which is unparalleled, I would say that. And the kind of passion which they are demonstrating, with the children. And we could see the quality of the students who are, coming out of that. When I looked at the theme, of course, today, it is something amazing, as the principal ma'am has told, that every year you are associating with one of the 5 elements of the cosmic creation, the Panchabhutas, what we call. See, we always say as an Indian tradition, Prakriti Devo Bhava. We see the divinity in nature, and the kind of conformity what you are doing in each year to taking a Panchabhuta and then relating it to the science and for the improving the creativity and innovative mindset for the children, it is amazing. When maybe a few advices from my side, particularly, whenever I visit schools, people do talk about and they ask me, what are the key success factors to become a successful professional? These are the things which normally I encounter when I visit many government schools, or even for that matter, many of the private schools. When it comes to the success of a student and to become thereby to become a successful profession, I always believe, of course, these are all very common things known to all, but just to put it in a structure and give a perspective, there are 9 things which we can say the key success factors, like Navagrahas. One is the active and continuous learning. So what do you mean by active and continuous learning? See, to develop and cultivate a habit of learning and getting engaged with this, meaning understanding the concepts with a practical orientation, which is beyond memorization of the subject, That's something which makes somebody to stand out. This is very, very important, as we have seen that we have the privilege of having great scientists today, like Dr. Atre, Dr. Shriram, who have joined us today. And you can imagine the kind of creativity, innovation what they have in their mind, starting from their childhood. So it is always taking the subject not just as a mere to get the marks or something, just from the examination standpoint. We have to look beyond that. That is called the active. And what is the continuous learning? Dr. Atre was saying that we need to continuously update our knowledge. Because today in the modern world, the technology is changing so rapidly. Today what we think that we are masters of something, if we don't update ourselves, we will be outdated tomorrow. That's the pace of technological advancements and change. So it is very important that active and continuous learning is very important. The second success factor, in my view, is problem solving and critical thinking. If you look at organizations everywhere, of course, academics are very important. Marks are very important. I'm not discounting them. But how companies are looking at, how organizations, corporates, or maybe for that matter, some of the big institutions, what they are looking at? They are looking at a wholesome, a holistic personality of the student, having a good academic marks, and also to have these problem solving skills. So it is always like when you approach any challenges or problems, they are bound to be there everywhere, like a student, at home, and maybe tomorrow as a professional, you are bound to face this. Dr. Shriram was giving in his things the kind of challenges what in the ISRO has gone through to reach to a stage where Chandrayaan-3 was successfully launched and it landed in the South Pole. It's a great pride for all of us. But if you look at that, if they would have given up at some point of time, what would have happened to us? They never do that. So this problem solving and critical thinking, analyzing the information, analyzing the challenges and problems, and then finding a solution. And also many times a consultation, right? A consultation, taking an advice, taking an opinion is always considered to be a weakness. Some people think that if I go and ask somebody, that the person will think that I don't know. So maybe he will think less about me. Nothing like that. When you have to approach and consult people, that is always a strength. So that is something which is very important for the success of the persons to become a good professionals. Third one is the goal setting and having an ambition in life. So we can look at the role models today, what we have with Dr. Atre and Dr. Shriram, the kind of heights what they have reached in their profession. I mean, the kind of ambition what they might have had to become the scientist. Because to become scientist is not an easy one. Of course, to become an engineer like me is easier, much relatively. But when you have like an ambition to become something is very important, and then you divide that into short-term and long-term goals. And to have your own motivation and to reach that, and you celebrate your success. This is very, very important. So that is goal setting and having an ambition third. Fourth one is a communication skills. So many times we have a misconception, communication skills means speaking in English. It doesn't mean that. It is much beyond that, whichever language it could be. The kind of persuading skills, the kind of analyzing the information and putting across your point and persuading others, the pros and cons of it, that leads to the success. When maybe Dr. Atre or Dr. Shriram, when they were put up to the Prime Minister or advisors to the Prime Minister about a concept, the kind of persuading skills what you need is very, very important. That can be learned from you, at the school level itself. In your discussions, in your group discussions, discussions with your teachers, discussion with your other friends, these kind of skills you can acquire at the school level itself. The fifth one is the networking skills. So these days the world is completely networked, right? Dr. Atre was saying how we are connected with the US, fully of the engineers. I mean, the world has become very small today. But the success of an individual also depends upon the level of your networking, the kind of relationship what you develop, starting from the school, the relationship you develop with the teachers, your peers, the students, other students, and also when you learn the things from them is also very important. And also identifying the professionals in your field of interest is also important. That can be very helpful for you. Maybe even somebody who is there already in the professions, they can help you in internships, they can help you in the guidance and a lot of things. So today, even at the professional success, like people like us in the corporates, the success doesn't mean that if you are an individual or work in a very silo, the chances of your growth is very minimal. You have to network with the people, network with the external, internal and all. So very important skill is this. The sixth one is effective time management. Of course, this is something like time is, fortunately, it is common for everybody, right? 24 hours, be it for scientists, be it for, anybody, it is the same. But how best you utilize it, how best you balance the time between your academic work as well as the other activities, be it your extracurricular activities or your co-curricular activities. It's very important that when you're in the school level, apart from spending time on the academics, it's also very important you develop the other skills, soft skills, we call it as soft skills. Okay, participate in group discussions, extempores, debates, and Dr. Atre and others have said it's not that every time we need to win. See, participation is very important. That competitive spirit will come to you and one day you will get into the winning streak. Raghavanji also was mentioning that, that is that mindset what we need to develop. So it is very, very important that we respect the time and we effectively use the time. Seventh one is adaptability. See, today's world, it is very important that we are very flexible and adaptable because the world is changing so fast, it's evolving. What is the technology today? We don't know whether it is existing now, in 5 years from now. Recently on the automotive space, our Chief Technology Officer, Lars Tenquist, is the Volvo Group's worldwide CTO. He is invited by Biden or Prime Minister Sunak and all. He gives lectures about how is the vision for automotive space, how it is automotive space is going to evolve. So in one of the question, in fact, he was in India, I was really surprised when he mentioned, somebody has asked, how do you see automotive space 5 years from now? He said, had this question would have been asked to me 10 years back, I would have told that, okay, these are going to be the fuels, okay, this is what it is going to evolve and all. Today, it is very difficult to tell what is going to be after 5 years in automotive space. The world's one of the largest automotive, we have R&D space, which is respected across the thing, including the field of science. He says, I don't know what's going to happen after 5 years. Why I am mentioning to it is we need to be very adaptable and flexible. The world is so competitive today. And it's not difficult. It's only you have to accept the fact that yes, we have to adapt to the situation. And we have to learn, and we have to continuously learn. There's no shortcut here. We have to continuously update ourselves, and we have to continuously learn. Eighth one is the leadership skills. So we have to cultivate this of, developing these leadership qualities. But how does it come? Leadership qualities. Some people say that some people are born with the leadership qualities. But these are the skills which you can still acquire. In your school level, particularly, when you have, some kind of a projects, take the lead in those projects. When you have some kind of a cultural clubs, please take lead in the cultural clubs with a group of your students, other students, and try to lead them, try to collaborate. And there is always, when you have that problem solving and critical thinking skills, there is always something that all decision need not be right. Sometimes you may do mistakes, okay? Failures are the stepping stones for success, as you all know. We have seen in our country in various fields, the way the success has been achieved. So these leadership qualities, the corporates, the organizations are looking at, okay? If you look at the leaders in the organizations and all, they are not the top rankers, okay? They are, of course, the elite academics and all, but they have these additional skills, how they can mobilize things, how they can, collaborate, and how they can build the consensus, among the organization. These are the leadership qualities are very important. Last but not the least, being a good human being, okay? The work ethics, strong work ethics. I know the students who are coming from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, particularly I don't need to talk about this, the kind of legacy which you have in terms of, carrying the heritage, the culture, the values of the Indian society. I really admire and I salute to all the teachers and the management of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Over the years, the decades, the way you have cultivated these habits, I'm sure, particularly the last one, I think that is a foundation stone for all of you. It is almost a given. And these are some of the 9 skills which I think if one acquires, of course, it's a combination of them. I'm not saying that everyone is perfect in all of them. It's a combination of them, and some of these, if you really try to work upon them, right from your school level, and maybe once you get into a college, once you get into an engineering, or any of the doctor, medicine, chartered accountants, lawyers, we have so many professions we have. Of course, you choose the career what you like. All these 9, the success factors still remain same. If you want to excel and become and have a name for yourself, okay? I would like to wish you all the best for all the students of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all the management of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. And once again, it's a great honor for me to share the stage with some of the stalwarts and scientists of the Indian space. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I request our management team to felicitate Mr. GV Rao and Mrs. Rao. Mr. Rotarian Ghanasham Agarwal, Liber Machine Tools India head, to be on the stage, please. I request Srimati Shubha Madan, the person behind today's docu-drama. Management team to honor Srimati Shubha Madan. Srimati Sushma, I request her to be on the stage. Srimati Sushma, who assisted for this docu-drama in all the way. Music direction and choreography is done by Mrs. Sushma. We are in the most awaited moment to present in front of you today's docu-drama, A Flight into Ether, Unfolding of Akasha. I request Srimati Shubha Madan to give a small introduction about this docu-drama.
ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಭಾಳ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗಿದೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಬಹಳ ಮಾತುಗಳು ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ. So this is only going to be a short talk about what your children are doing up on the stage. So about 8 years back, we started this journey. 8 years back, your children were in grade 3 or 3ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರು. At that time, we started with our first production, Agni. And since then, up till now, we've finished 4 of our productions, Vayu, Varuna, Prithvi. And now we have this last one. This is Akasha. But these 8 years have been wonderful 8 years with a lot of memories to gather and relive. Alva, last 8 years inda bada chanagittu alva makkಳು ಹಾಕಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ? No? Yeah. So I'll take a moment off and I want to share with you a 2-minute video about what had been done over these 4 productions when your children were just in grade 3 and now they are actually young, strapping men and women out in the good world. So we'll just take this moment off. Please relive with me this journey of these 8 years with a lot of fond memories. Vidya, can we have the video? Right.
Lord Agni, Lord Agni, the sustainer of life, the sustainer of life, the lavisher of wealth, the lavisher of wealth, is on his way, is on his way, is on his way, is on his way, is on his way. Can go to Punjab in India. It is the 13th of January now. It is Shishira Ritu. It is Magh Mahina. People of Punjab will be celebrating Lodi. Oh, can we go the national song and dance?
The Lord of Uruk fights Enkidu the barbarian like a lion. He takes his sword gifted to my goddess Ishtar. The flaming, lightning sword shakes the heart of Enkidu, and Enkidu runs to the king and bows down at the feet of the Lord to become a slave.
She talks of her high points too. She talks about the amazing culture that developed on her banks.
Come, let us watch Jamuna. You are wondering who I am. I am Yamuna. I am Ganga. I am the Nile or the Euphrates or Tigris. Call me by any name.
When you have seen through this, you will gather what is a methodology. Actually, we have, even for the unfolding of Akasha, we have followed the same method. Our matter, the subject matter comes from variety of academic subjects. We have philosophy, we have extracted something from science, something from history, which also includes world history, and even epics. Not just the Indian epics, but also epics from all over the world. And how do we present this matter? We present this by using a variety of performing arts, like what you saw over here. You have song, you have dances, you have little playlets, and you have dance dramas. And very importantly, the things that you didn't see over here, which you'll be seeing now, are a set of band of narrators. The narration is very important here. Therefore, we call it as a docu-drama, a documentary drama. It's mostly a documentary which is evidence-based, and it is having hard facts, and these are put up in aesthetic form by bringing up dances and music and playlets and dance dramas. Otherwise, they're all very authentic, and they're all recorded and documented. So this part, this documentation, this research part is done by the narrators. They have researched really long and hard to obtain the matter. And after obtaining the matter, they have put it very cogently and coherently in a way that it can be understood by all. And this is the work done by these young narrators, and of course under the guidance of all of us. But you will see the proof of the pudding when they come up to narrate the stories. And the other thing that you have to really look out for is the slide presentation. Some of the slides are so authentic that it was really difficult to obtain, especially the ones related to American Civil War. They are very rare slides, and they are really good and very apt. And the other thing is that the children love to come up on the stage. They want to express themselves on the stage, and they feel very empowered when they are allowed to come on the stage. And because of this, to accommodate all the students, we have included many dances. And what is unique about this is that all these dances are connected to the main theme, that is Akasha. And sometimes we have done such weird things. I think Dr. Shriram sort of preempted our program in a way. So we have changed we have converted, he was talking about arts and science, we have converted very hardcore scientific principles into dance. And therefore you see here, the child asked the teacher, you tell me that the sky is colorless, but I see the sky as blue. How can this be? So the teacher explains the scattering of light. That's the principle behind the sky being blue. And this very same principle is converted into a dance form, so that the child not only comes to know what is the principle, what is the meaning behind the whole thing, and it is done in a pleasant way, which is easy for him to understand. So the dances have their own value here. And then we have little playlets. They're not really plays, but they're playlets which gives a glimpse of what is happening. For example, there's the child asks the teacher, what is the contribution of India, Bharat, to the space science, the science of Akasha? So the narrator takes them back to the time of Aryabhata. So you see the ashram there with Aryabhata, Varahamira, and Bhaskara sitting there, and they are introduced to the children. And then again, we move on quickly to the modern India, where Dr. Vikram Sarabhai and Dr. Abdul Kalam are introduced. And then we, of course, move to the very immediate present, where Dr. Shriram was talking about the Chandrayaan-3, the amazing landing which held the entire country enthralled. That will be shown here too. And all those people behind it are introduced to the children and to the audience. So this is how very fact-based, very document-based play it is. And the child is very, is not in a position to believe the teacher. When the teacher tells him that one day the sun, which gives us warmth and light every day when he wakes up, the child wakes up and he sees the sun through the window giving him light and warmth, will not be there, maybe some billions of years later. But that is, at this time, the child cannot believe it, but the teacher explains the death of a star in stages, and then she ends it optimistically, of course, that new stars are born out of the stardust of the stars which are dead. So, but this very same thing is shown in a dance form. And then the playlets, they're fleeting. You just see, catch a glimpse of it, and you move to the next. So it's very precise. And also, we we want the children to be rooted in our culture. We want the children to be appreciative of our culture. But at the same time, we want the children to extend their horizon, deepen their horizon by coming to know the culture of all the other countries too. So we have, right at the beginning, we have the various mythological characters which represent the sky in other civilizations, like the Egyptian civilization, the Roman, the Greek, and the Norse. And they present the narrators present the description about each of these characters, and these characters do a ramp walk so that they people come to know them. It is easy for them to understand. And also, we have used a lot of science here. The child asks the teacher, how, now I know how the Akasha is created. So when he asks, how is Akasha created? The teacher dips into philosophy, Hindu philosophy, and says that Akasha is created by Maya, the power of Brahman. It's one of the subtle elements, and it is created by Maya. This is again shown in the dance. And after knowing this, the child asks that the universe is, the Akasha holds the entire universe in it, but who has made this universe? Now, in order to answer this question, we have gone to the very accepted theory till now of the Big Bang theory of the creation of universe. And we specifically have gone to cosmic microwave background, the oldest of the light. And in order to do this, we have dipped into, we have got a glimpse of the life of two scientists, that is Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, who won the Nobel Prize for their discovery of cosmic microwave background. So this is shown in the form of a playlet, And just after they received the Nobel Prize, we have taken a ballet which was staged to entertain the Nobel laureates there. So this ballet is an extract from the Nutcracker. So very truly an extract from the Nutcracker, and this is what the children will put up. And then, of course, the child asks about the North Star. It says that all the other stars are moving. How come this one star is not moving? Why does it look so stationary? So the teacher takes the help of one of the very popular stories in the Mahabharata epic, the story of the young Dhruva. Dhruva Tara is the North Star according to our Hindu epics. And and this is in the Saptarishi Mandal, the constellation. And the very same thing, we go international, world culture, world history, where the American African tribes, the Civil War in America, where they were persecuted by the Southern masters, and they escaped to the northern, the quieter, more welcoming climates of the northern America, by following the Big Dipper, which is nothing but the same Saptarishi Mandal. The same idea, but a bigger look, bigger stage. It's a world stage. And then the children ultimately come to the end of this one, looking for the blessings and graces of the Almighty God, not only for the peace to be descending on the elements, but also themselves, and they are in fact made of elements themselves. So this is the Shanti Mantra. So this is basically the synopsis of what you're going to see, but what I like to sort of emphasize here is, it is not simply an annual night with some cultural show, but this is a actually serious academic project. And the children here know very well about what they are putting up. In fact, I get a little bit of report from the parents saying that they have gone home, quizzed their parents, explained to their parents too about this. So it's a serious academic project. And that is the beauty of the whole thing. So whatever they have done, they are going to carry it with them. So I cannot move off without thanking the Almighty for having given us the two chief guests who are so very apt to today's function. Dr. Atre and Dr. Shriram from DRDO and ISRO. It's unbelievable that we have managed to get you. And I was just wondering how Volvo can be involved in space. So, and then I thought that if our Elon Musk can have SpaceX and have shuttles which can be used, one day I think probably Volvo will also come up with a rocket engine, probably running on the nuclear material and taking us for intergalactic travel. So that's in the lighter vein. So basically this is the thing, and I do wish the parents are so fidgety. I want all of you to sit up and enjoy the show that your children have prepared with great effort and great, I mean, they have spent a lot of time in preparing this. I do hope you will enjoy. So get ready to enjoy.
Akashaya vidmahe nabho devaya dhimahi tanno gaganah prachodayad. Om Akashaya vidmahe nabho devaya dhimahi tanno gaganah prachodayad.
In Vedantic Hinduism, Akasha means the basis and essence of all things in the material world.
It is the first element, Sukshma Bhuta, a subtle pure element to be created. It is from Akasha that the other elements emerged: Vayu, Agni, Apa and Prithvi. It is one of the Panchamahabhutas whose main characteristic is sound.
Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan BBMP Public School presents A Flight into Ether, the unfolding of Akasha.
I am Akasha. I have no body, yet I accommodate the other four elements. I am no gross substance, yet I pervade the other four elements in microcosm as well as macrocosm. I am empty, yet the whole Brahmanda rests in me. I am the primordial sound, Om. Sound is my true nature.
This is how difficult it is to define Akasha in Hindu philosophy. But what about the rest of the world? Come with me, we shall trot around the globe to sneak a peek at Akasha.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now introduce the Egyptian goddess Re, the mother of sun god Ra. She is the goddess of sky in ancient Nile Valley civilization. She gives birth to her son Ra every day. She is ornamented by stars all over. She is the daughter of Shu, the goddess of vital breath. We present Re and Ra.
Come on, let's meet Zeus, Greek god of sky. Zeus is the Greek god of sky and the wielder of thunder. He is the king of the gods and rules Mount Olympus. He is respected as Sky Father. He carries thunderbolts, eagle, bull and oak. Zeus frees Cyclops, who in gratitude gives him his thunderbolts. He is famous for his defeat of the Titans. Zeus for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Now watch with attention. Jupiter, the Roman sky god, is also known as Jove. He is the god of sky and thunder.
He is the god of religion and mythology in ancient Rome. He too carries thunderbolts and eagle. As sky god, he was the witness to oaths on which justice and good government depend. His image is found in the Republican and Imperial capital in Old Rome. Ladies and gentlemen, we present Jupiter.
Hold your breath. It is Thor. Thor, the Norse god of sky, is also the god of thunder and aggression. He wields a hammer in his hand and is associated with lightning, thunder, storms, sacred groves, and trees. He is the protector of humankind. He is the god of Germanic people. Thor has inspired numerous works of art. We present Thor. Here is something all of us have been waiting for. All eyes are on Akasha now. Akasha is called sky, space, or ether in cosmology. It is invisible, all-pervading, and eternal. It is the fundamental tattva, the truth. It connects the universe with the divine. According to Ayurveda, Akasha, the dominant tattva, affects one's health. It keeps a person happy and spiritually healthy. The lack of it makes a person anxious, stressed, and introverted. We present Akasha. Teacher, I just heard what was said about Akasha. I also watched what different civilizations said about Akasha. But tell me, teacher, who created this Akasha? It must have been someone powerful to create such a big thing.
Shh! Listen to what is being said and you will know it.
In Hindu philosophy, all the 5 Panchamahabhutas, the subtle element, were created by Maya, the power of Brahman. She is a combination of 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Akasha was the first element to be created by Maya, the main characteristic being Shabda. It was then followed by Vayu, whose characteristic is Sparsha or touch. The next is Agni, who is Rupam himself. Then Apa, the water, who grants Rasa or taste. Then at the end is Prithvi, who grants smell or Gandha. You will now watch this creation process, which is symbolically represented.
Akasha holds so many things in it. The stars, the sun, the moon, and in fact, the whole universe. When was it created? Do we know it? And can we believe it?
My child, you have so many questions. You have a new question even before I have answered the previous one. Let us watch this playlet and you shall know it all.
According to the estimate of scientists, the universe is 13.8 billion years old. Our galaxy Milky Way was formed 13.6 billion years ago. Our solar system with the sun and planets formed 5 million years ago. Our Earth is 4.6 billion years old. The universe formed when, for reasons unknown, something that was called a singularity exploded. Everything that we see today, time, space, object, all the life that we see on Earth was created from this explosion. It was formed from a theory known as cosmic inflation. Inflation is a process in which the universe expanded rapidly in fractions of seconds. We now present to you a small playlet on this birth of the universe.
We now take you to Bell Labs in Homerdale, New Jersey. It is the 20th of May, 1964, exactly 60 years back. You now see Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, the two astrophysicists. What is it they are looking into? Yes, it is one of the very early telescope. They seem to be very frustrated. Let us know why.
Bob, what is this noise we hear? It is distracting me from looking at the deep field. I am unable to see beyond the group of stars, which I think to be at least 100 light years away. Yes or no? I do hear this scratchy noise, like the static on a TV screen. Bob, it must be those damn pigeons. They have left their droppings on the antenna. Come, let us clean it. Oh, those goddamn pigeons. Let me kill each one of them. The damn thing should not come back again. Bob, I still hear the same noise. I have cleaned the antenna. There was no dirt whatsoever on the antenna.
Unknown to them, Bob and Arno have now discovered the oldest possible light and the sound, which you can call a fossilized form of light formed when the Big Bang took place 13.8 billion years ago. It is called the cosmic microwave background.
Bob, do you see the faint light? Yes, I do. Arno, now turn your telescope in all directions. You see the same faint light everywhere. Hey Arno, this is echo or the shock wave of the Big Bang that formed the universe. Bob, we are now looking at the oldest of light, a primeval light. It is the fossilized light. I am so excited. My hair is standing upright. Hey man, I have goosebumps.
What's now happening in the Bell Labs? Ladies and gentlemen, you now see eminent scientists gather from all over the world. Arno and Bob are presenting their hair-raising discovery to the scientific community. The scientific community is stunned at their discovery.
Ladies and gentlemen, I, Arno, and him, Bob, present to you the earliest remnant of light, after the creation of universe and after the Big Bang. We now put together for you the Big Bang theory, a theory how the universe may have formed, and the proof to show that it really happened.
Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for their groundbreaking discovery of cosmic microwave background.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now in Stockholm, in Sweden. You see a grand gathering of scientists, many of them Nobel laureates. The King and Queen of Sweden too are present.
In this year, that is 1978 Common Era, the Nobel Prize in Physics goes to Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, jointly for their discovery of cosmic microwave background, which confirms the Big Bang theory on the origin of universe. They will receive the Nobel Medal and the diploma from His Majesty the King. Arno Penzias. Robert Wilson.
The august gathering will now be entertained by the rendering of the ballet, The Nutcracker by the Bolshevik Ballet Group. Your attention, ladies and gentlemen.
The Nutcracker is classical ballet. It was composed by Tchaikovsky in 1892. It's based on the story Nutcracker and the Mouse King. The context is Christmas Eve at the foot of a Christmas tree, which is completely the child's imagination. It is a very popular ballad. Tchaikovsky was a Russian composer. It is fairyland, teeming with all types of fairies. We now put up for you a small extract from The Nutcracker.
Akasha is full of stars that keep moving. What I see today here will be in another place tomorrow. But that star in the north never moves. How is it, teacher?
Yes, that is Polaris or North Star. Come, let us know more about it.
Pole star is a star that lies directly overhead when viewed from south or north pole. It is aligned with the axis of rotation of the earth. In the north, we have Polaris, also called the North Star, and the Hindus call it Dhruv Tara. It is in the constellation of Cynosure or Asa Minor. Historically, this star is the guide to all navigators. The Phoenicians were the first to talk about this star, describing it as ever shining and always above the horizon. To us Indians, Dhruv Tara has not only been a celestial guide, but also the story of the young Dhruva who is a spiritual guide. Dhruva, the son of King Uttanapada, the son of Manu, who is disappointed that his father gave him no place on his lap, while his younger brother sat on his lap. Reeling under this injustice, the young child goes alone to the forest to do tapas and ask Bhagwan himself for justice. When he does see the Bhagwan, he is speechless, lost in the ecstasy of his love. Lord Vishnu grants him a permanent place in Akasha as ever-shining North Star or Dhruv Tara. This story will now be shown to you in the form of dance drama. American Civil War took place between April 12, 1861 and May 26, 1865. It was the war between the North, which was also called the Union, and the South, which was called the Confederacy. The central cause of the war was the dispute over slavery. The southern states wanted slavery to continue, but the northern states wanted it to be abolished. The credit to abolish slavery goes to the American president Abraham Lincoln. While Abraham Lincoln lived to see this victory, but on April 14th he was assassinated. The end of the war saw 4 million slaves being freed. The slaves were granted civil rights. Abraham Lincoln delivered Gettysburg Address at Gettysburg on November 19, 1863. He described United States as a nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. He said the death of those who died in war should not go in vain. This speech of Lincoln, even today, moves the entire world.
We will now tell you the story of how Big Dipper or the Great Bear or the Saptarishi Mandal led the black African slaves to escape the brutality of their southern white masters in United States of America and reach the safety of the North. In common parlance, this is referred to as Civil War.
We will now take you to the southern states in the United States of America. The year is 1860 Common Era. Place, Virginia. A group of black African slaves who worked in the plantation of cotton and tobacco in the South have gathered here, avoiding the eyes of their brutal masters. It is midnight here. The group of black African slaves are waiting for their caravan to arrive. They will be loaded into the caravan. The caravan will follow the Big Dipper and lead them to the safety of North.
Master Ben, I cannot continue to work anymore for my master. Do you know, he beats me with a whip on my back to make me pick out the cotton faster and faster. See how my fingers are chapped. My back is broken. So that's your story, Tom. Now listen to my story. My master Jim is dead. I will be sold to another along with the estate. I will have to leave behind my family. What good is this life? I would rather die and remain cold under the ground.
Master Tom, I have spoken to a caravan owner. His name is Paul. He is from Charlottesville. He is ready to hide 10 of you and will take you all to a city in the north.
But sir, my friend Benny was haunted by bloodhounds when he tried to escape. I would rather die picking the cotton in Virginia than be dined upon by those blood-sucking hounds.
All right, you boys, now come to have your dinner, and the rest we'll think of it tomorrow. Hot broth and bread awakes you, and I will serve you rice beer too.
The motley crowd gathers round the bonfire. Madame Venny served them rice beer and the hot broth, and the crowd relaxes to the strumming of the guitar. The song played is Follow the Drinking Gourd.
When the sun comes back, when the first quail calls, follow the drinking gourd, for the old man is waiting for, carry you to freedom, follow the drinking gourd. Well, the riverbank is a mighty good road, dead trees show you the way, left foot, peg foot, traveling on, follow the drinking gourd.
Come on, girls, let us dance for something more cheerful. Let us make some noise. Hurrah!
Hurrah!
Tonight.
People are asleep after a filling dinner, court dance, and singing session. They will now be woken up and hurled into this caravan that awaits them. They will be hidden under the goods.
Wake up, boys. The caravan has arrived. Pick up your luggage. You will be on the way to Canada, to the cold mountains that are safe and welcoming.
Maggie, how will we come to know where to go? Do you think we are on the correct route?
Oh, Ben, follow the drinking god, man. Follow the drinking god.
Drinking gourd was the code name for the Big Dipper or Saptarishi Mandal. Drinking gourd was a simple hollow gourd to drink water. So, ladies and gentlemen, this simple gourd or the Big Dipper led the black African slaves to freedom.
Teacher, why does the sky look blue? It's lovely and pretty. But how can it be the same everywhere? Has someone painted it with the blue color?
No, child. I will explain it to you. Look at the screen. Can you see the geometrical shape there? It is called the prism. Tell me, what color is the sunlight?
It's white.
When this white light passes through the prism, it splits into 7 beautiful colors: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. The blue color has a very short wavelength. The gas molecules in the air scatter or disperse the blue color. Therefore, the sky appears blue. But in reality, the sky has no color.
But teacher, what happens to the other 6 colors?
The other 6 colors travel right up to the earth and is absorbed by them.
Sir Chandrasekhar Venkatraman, the Nobel laureate from India, was awarded the Nobel Prize for his discovery on scattering of light. He found out that the liquid or gas molecules scattered the light of shorter wavelength by changing the color of the substance. Therefore, the sky and the water appear blue. Ladies and gentlemen, the Academy of Sciences awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1930 to Dr. Raman for his discovery, which is known as Raman effect. This change in wavelength of scattered light was also called Raman scattering. So, ladies and gentlemen, you'll now watch a dance that shows the scattering of light.
Teacher, has someone ever gone to the space? It is so far away. Can people ever come back? Can you go there in an aeroplane or a train?
Oh boy, to go to space, you need a rocket. Yes, people have landed on the moon, and some astronauts live in space station. Come, let's watch ahead.
Like the land exploration that threw up such names as Columbus, Vasco da Gama, space exploration too left a strong impact. Early rockets were used for peaceful purposes like weather reporting, but increasingly rockets began to be used for military purposes in wars. The Russians, followed by the Germans and then the Americans, mastered the technology by 1930. But in India, Tipu Sultan had used rockets in Anglo-Mysore Wars in 1792 itself. But space adventurism started with Yuri Gagarin, a Russian, in 1961. By 1963, Valentina Tereshkova, a Russian woman, was sent to space. The Apollo 11 crew, Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin, made first lunar landing in 1969.
This is what Neil Armstrong said when he stepped on the moon. One small step for a man and a giant leap for mankind.
In 1991, the first Russian space station hosted many astronauts. But what about Bharat and space?
We now take a leap backwards. Time 499 Common Era. Place Kusumapura. You see Aryabhatta, a premier astronomer, mathematician and physicist. To his right is Varahamira, another great astronomer. Directly opposite to him is Bhaskara I.
Aham Aryabhattah. Aham ekah mahan Bharatiya Ganitaशास्त्रज्ञः अपि च खगोलशास्त्रज्ञः अस्मि. Aham सूर्यमण्डल सिद्धान्तं प्रतिपादितवान्.
Aham Varahamiraha. Aham ekah mahan Bharatiya Khagolashasтрajñah Jyotishashasтрajñah cha asmi. Aham Tantrashastre Jyotishashastre cha Abhutapurva karyani kritavan.
Aham Bhaskaraha. Aham ekah mahan Bharatiya Ganitaशास्त्रज्ञः खगोलशास्त्रज्ञः च अस्मि. Aham Bhumehe Gurutvakarshana Shaktehe Anveshanam Krutavan. Guruvar, this is the design of the observatory that you want to set up at the Sun Temple in Tarigana. Shishya, where will the sundial be? It will be to the right of the celestial coordinate system that shows the equatorial system. Take 2 steps away. It will be the ecliptic system.
I am editing your treatise, Aryabhatta Guruvar. I want some clarification on lunar and solar eclipse.
Not only was Aryabhatta an astronomer, he found out solution for single variable quadratic equation.
Is it right if we say that Prithvi is going through occultation? Is the transit happening between Mangala and Shukra Graha?
Aryabhata's Surya Siddhanta, Varahamira's Pancha Siddhantika are all important texts. There were several interactions between the astronomers in Maurya period and the Greeks. Yantra Mandir in New Delhi and Jantar Mantar constructed by Jai Singh II in 18th century show the progressive thinking. He built them in Ujjain, Varanasi and Mathura too.
Teacher, I have heard that our sun, who gives us light and warmth, will also die one day. Is it true?
Yes, it is. Some billions of years later, sun will also change into a red giant. At this point, it will gobble up even our earth. Come, I will explain to you about the life cycle of a star. Here, you see the sun-like star? Look, here it has become a super red giant after many billions of years. Here, it has become a white dwarf. There are stars which are bigger than our sun. When they die, they become a neutron star like this. It can also become a magnetar like this. At the last stage, the star will explode into something big called supernova.
But teacher, when the supernova happens, will the earth get affected?
No dear, there is so much of distance between earth and the other stars. Supernova will not affect us. We'll only see it as a bright event in the sky.
But teacher, when all stars explode, will the sky become starless?
No child. New stars will be born in star nurseries like new children. We will now present a dance on the life cycle of a star. Watch the birth of a star, then the star aging to become a super red giant. The star ages further to become a powerful blue neutron. The neutron star becomes an orange magnetar that attracts everything to itself. Finally, a deafening explosion as a supernova. After this, life begins all over again with the birth of new stars. Ladies and gentlemen, Betelgeuse, a star in the Orion constellation, will go supernova any time from now. At the moment, it is a bright star with a deep reddish color. It is about 548 light years from Earth. It's a red supergiant. So, ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout for the supernova event.
That was the contribution of ancient India to space science or the science of Akasha. How did modern Bharat keep up what its ancestors began?
Do you see these two men who are having a conversation? The man through the right, the tall man, is Dr. Homi Bhabha, and standing next to him is Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the father of Indian space science. Come on, let's listen to them.
It is November 21st, 1963. Place Tumba in Thiruvananthapuram. Dr. Sarabhai is explaining to Dr. Homi Bhabha about the inaugural flight of a rocket with sodium vapor payload.
Vikram, what will be the weight of this payload?
About 1,000 kilos.
Tell me a little about your satellite program.
It will be launched in 1975. The name of the satellite will be Aryabhata. It will be launched from Russian Cosmodrome. It is built completely by the Indian Space Research Organization.
Who is Dr. Sarabhai talking to? Do you recognize him? Yes, it is Dr. Abdul Kalam, then a young rocket engineer.
Sarabhai sir, I am so sorry that Pramod Kale and I failed in demonstrating the jettison system for SLV.
Young man, what according to you was the problem?
Sir, we need an integrated space system for integration of all rocket stages. Had it been there, there would have been no failure.
Kalam, I have thought about it. We will create a new department here at Tumba and we shall name it as the Rocket Engineering Section.
In the words of Dr. Kalam, Dr. Sarabhai had 4 important leadership qualities. He was ready to listen. He had ability to think creatively, to build teams and look beyond failure. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to watch the launching of Chandrayaan-3. It will demonstrate safe and soft landing on the lunar surface. The rover Pragyan will land near the South Pole. It will explore the moon and perform scientific experiments. The Vikram lander will be responsible for the soft landing on the moon. It will carry the Pragyan rover to perform on-site analysis. These women and men you will now see are heroes and heroines of the fairy tale story of Chandrayaan.
The person leading from up front, Mr. S. Somnath, Chairman of ISRO.
The project director, Mr. P. Veeramuthuvel.
The Deputy Project Director, Ms. Kalpana Kalahasti.
The Director of the project, Mr. S. Unnikrishnan Nair.
Ritu Karital, the Rocket Woman. Ladies and gentlemen, now hold your breath and watch the history in making.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
5 seconds.
Lift off normal. P1
Here
tracking.
we have a majestic liftoff of LBM-3 M4 rocket carrying India's prestigious Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft.
P2 tracking.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन LVM-3 M4 रॉकेट का। यह भीमकाय रॉकेट आसमान को चीरते हुए अपनी भयानक दहाड़ से चारों ओर कंपन उत्पन्न कर रहा है। इसे हम यहाँ महसूस कर सकते हैं और यही
India has become the first nation in the world to land on the south pole of the moon as the country's Chandrayaan-3 mission successfully touched down on the lunar surface. With this, India has also become the fourth nation worldwide to demonstrate a soft landing on the moon.
की गई L110
I am Ritu Karidal Srivatsava. People call me as Rocket Woman of India. I was involved in Mangalyaan Mission 2. In the Bollywood film Mission Mangal, my role was played by Vidya Balan. I am Kalpana Kalahasti. I worked as an Indian scientist and electronics and communication engineer in ISRO. I was the Associate Director of Chandrayaan-3 mission.
I am S. Unni Krishnan Nair. I am ISRO Space Engineer and I was the Director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. I was involved in Chandrayaan-3 mission.
I am Palanivel Peeramuthuvel. I am ISRO Space Engineer and I was Project Director of Chandrayaan-3 mission.
I am Sridhara Palanikar Somnath. I did my post-graduation in space engineering from Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. I was the director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in 1985. I am lucky to be chairman of ISRO when Chandrayaan-3 was launched.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a great round of applause for these great heroes and heroines who have put Bharat on the moon.
We have now cruised along to the ultimate stage of the program. Ultimate because we now understand how Akasha and the other 4 elements have shaped our lives in this vast universe. How the future of humanity simply rests on the shoulders of these elements. The Hindus believe that God manifests in all things, inert and life. Therefore, He is Vishwarupa. Every atom is a manifestation of God Himself. This makes it essential that we offer our gratitude to them and also seek peace to descend on them and us from the great Almighty. We now present to you Shanti Mantra.
Ata Shri Panchabhutaya Shanti Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. प्राणपकानाय बुद्धिभावसमानाय वायुभूताय शान्तये आकाशाय च विद्महे नीलवर्णाय धीमहि तन्नो गगन प्रचोदयात् तन्नो गगन प्रचोदयात्
नीलवर्णा व्यापिताय सृष्टिपितृस्वरूपये सूर्यचन्द्रग्रहगमनाय गगनभूताय शान्तये
नीलवर्णाव्यापिताय सृष्टिपितृस्वरूपये सूर्यचन्द्रग्रहगमनाय गगनभूताय शान्तये शान्ति 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 अग्निशान्ति अग्निशान्ति वायुशान्ति वायुशान्ति वरुणशान्ति वरुणशान्ति सूर्यशान्ति सूर्यशान्ति चन्द्रशान्ति चन्द्रशान्ति सप्तऋषिशान्ति सप्तऋषिशान्ति नक्षत्रशान्ति नक्षत्रशान्ति
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, these are our little kids who put up an hour and a half of show just on Akasha. And they have taken a lot of trouble. Maybe it was a little too science heavy. It must have been a little science heavy. Probably lacked the popular element over there, you know. But however, they have taken a great trouble in putting up. And Tarun, is Tarun here? Yeah, over the period that we trained them, this is the discovery. He came and asked me, have you seen James Webb telescope? He is only in grade 6, and he asked me, and he told me that it is an infrared telescope. Hubble telescope is not as good as that. This is what he told me. So he is the great, wonderful work children. And I think you're all going to be rewarded. Tomorrow is a holiday for you all. So, yeah. Thank you so much for being here, putting up with us. A long show, but you all put up with it patiently. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can I draw the attention of people who are here? This hall was given almost free to us by Shri Manandi ji, Suresh ji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have got the best compliment possible here. Our Mrs. Atre tells me that she would nominate this for an Oscar. Thank you so much. That is the height of compliments.
Children coming from BVB-BBMP.
In this occasion, I would like to thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff for working hard for nearly 3 months. I would also like to thank the auditorium, who has given us the auditorium, and the sound effect by Mr. Anthony, and the media people, and also our non-teaching staff. Thank you everybody for making this event a grand success.